Knock, knock. Hey there.
Hi.
I'm Candy with the MNA. I work up in the Cancer Center. Do you have a couple minutes?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
My name's Erica.
Hi, Erica. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So I'm just reaching out, kind of walking around, wanting to talk to nurses to get a better understanding of what your experience is like working on your unit.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just finishing up lunch, so I have a few minutes.
Okay, great. So how have things been?
I mean, right now it's really busy. We're just pretty tired, but that's okay.
I can imagine. Just tell me more about it. How long has it been, and how has it affected you?
Well, it's been super busy, especially right now. We have two people out on leave, so we've been swamped. Hire like more patients in our assignments. We're doing a lot of extra OT to kind of make up. So it's just been a lot.
How many overtime shifts have you worked?
This week I've worked 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're not required to, but you feel bad when you leave and you know the next day that they're working 3 nurses short. So it's kind of hard to not pick up, even though it is exhausting. We've got one person out on maternity leave and one that was on an injury. She's supposed to come back this week, but she's already extended her leave once before. So it's really hard to know, when it'll end.
Yeah, I totally get it. It sounds like this type of short staffing happens often, and or how often does it happen, and what's your management done about it?
I mean, we're always short staffed on some level. It's just a matter of how bad it is.
Hmm.
Right now, we've got 2 people on leave, so you would think that they would be able to plan around it, but they just say they don't have any money in the budget.
It sounds really difficult and unhelpful. How does that affect the patients?
I mean, it's hard. We've got larger assignments, so you can't get to every patient as quickly. You have to triage the needs, and it would just be better if there were enough nurses.
Yeah, that sounds really awful and difficult. How does it make you feel to work in an environment somewhere, where this happens so often?
It's harder to do our jobs, and nobody likes to feel that way, and it leads to burnout.
What do you think management should be doing about the situation?
I know they say they don't have money in the budget, but they do have money to build an extra hospital wing with more beds, and I don't really know how they plan on caring for those patients when we can't even staff the beds that we have. So,
They're
yeah,
building another wing of the hospital when
yeah.
they already don't have enough staff to cover what's open. Have you raised this specific question with your manager?
We have. Our manager just tells us that she has the budget that they have given her.
Must be super frustrating. So who can and should be making the decisions as far as staffing?
I mean, I would assume it's the CEO or the CNO, but they probably don't even really know what it's like down here.
No, they don't even know what it's like in their own hospital, on their own units. What would you feel if management actually added, or how would you feel if management actually added more nurses to the staffing to deal with the understaffing and the nurses on leave? What would it mean to you and your patients and your coworkers?
I mean, we would take much better care of our patients and we wouldn't be overworked, we wouldn't be tired, we wouldn't be burnt out. So it would just be better for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the truth is, management most likely already knows, right, about these different concerns, and they're just
Yeah.
not doing enough about it. But if we continue to do nothing, nothing will change. We know it'll be hard, but if we take action together, it means we can win. I can give you an example. The RNs at Pappas Rehab, when the governor just announced that they were closing the hospital, the nurses kind of stood together and pushed back. And even though it wasn't easy, they were able to win and keep the hospital open. So will you stand, with me and your colleagues to show management that they need to do more to address staffing?
Yeah, sure.
Why?
Because I'm tired. I know my coworkers are tired. We're not doing as good of a job for our patients as we could and we would like to. And we're just going to keep losing more nurses if we don't fix the problem.
Yeah. Well, we're starting to bargain our new contract later this year with management. So our plan is to use bargaining in a way to push them to address issues like staffing by making our proposals represent all members' main priorities. However, we can't do that if we don't know what everybody wants to prioritize and what it takes to win. Would you fight for a contract that doesn't represent what's most important to you?
No, I'd want to see my concerns on the table.
Of course not, right? So that's why we're asking everybody to fill out a bargaining survey to identify the issues that they want prioritized. That way we can clearly tell management what the majority of our nurses want here. And, to see these things like staffing dealt with. And if not, we will take action together to make it happen. So we're asking everybody to fill out a survey, which I have right here, so we can properly represent our demands to management in bargaining. So do you have a couple minutes to fill it out now?
Yeah, I can fill it out now.
All right, great. I guess while you're taking a look at that, we are well aware of management. They're saying that they can't afford to hire more people, which is why we've seen so much understaffing throughout the hospital. So when we go to the table with our colleagues' voices and our demands and ask for improvements, what do you think management's going to say?
I mean, they're probably going to say they don't have enough money, and they're probably going to say that we're paid fairly. So we hear that a lot already.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're always going to say they can't afford it, right? They always say they can't afford things for the nurses and the other staff, but it doesn't stop them from spending money on things for themselves or things like building a new wing for the hospital. So what do you think your patients and their families would say if they knew management, doesn't have enough money for more nurses?
I mean, our patients and families already feel it, and it's frustrating, when they need something and they can't get help quickly. But if they knew that the hospital wasn't really willing to do anything to change it, I think they'd be pretty frustrated. They might not want to come to this hospital anymore.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to have you and your coworkers' voices help create the demands and priorities for bargaining, because it's all of our nurses stating what they need to do their jobs well. So will you complete this survey and stand with your coworkers to start addressing the things that all of you want to see changed?
Yeah, I'm almost finished.
Okay, great. While you're finishing, I'm also looking for Mary and Sarah. Are they working today?
I think Sarah is almost done with her lunch, so she's here, and Mary works sometime later this week.
Okay, great. Will you talk with them and have them fill out the surveys?
I don't know if I would be the best person for that. Shouldn't you do that?
I get it. And I get your hesitation. And I was like that in the beginning too, right? It's hard to talk to coworkers about these types of things if you haven't done it before. But you were just talking about like how tired a lot of you are of the understaffing in the situation here, and how some patients and their families have been asking some questions, weren't you?
Yeah, that's true.
So how are we going to get better staffing for them as well if we don't educate them about our plan to address these concerns? And if someone that they know and trust and work very closely with, won't talk to them about it, why would they take the first step?
Yeah, I guess you're right. That makes sense. Well, I guess I can ask Sarah when she comes back from lunch. And then Mary and I work together on Wednesday.
Okay.
So I can ask her on Wednesday.
All right, great. So why don't I plan on, reaching out to you on Thursday, and then we can make a plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good rest of your shift.
Thank you.